we also have an expert, a neuroscientist amidst us who I'm very, very grateful to meet. Just about a week ago, we met on Zoom, and he's here to share his development with us, which I think it's revolutionary. So in no time, I'm going to have him to share with us. So before we get started, if you have a paper, I just want to give us a little exercise. It should take like a minute or two. So I'd like you to spell your name backward. Just your first name, maybe. Spell it backward and just try to see how does that go? If you try to spell your name backward. Did anybody try it? I see somebody trying to write. Did anybody try it? Makano, you just spell your name backward?
Yes, it's sort of tricky, but yes, I did. I have to write the original name first and then copy.
Aha! I'm
Yes,
going to ask you, what strategy did you use?
that's a strategy.
Okay. Anybody else? Was it difficult? Which part was hard?
I also
Just
I also did
Okay.
spell my first name backward.
Uh-huh.
Was easy.
All right. Maybe because you are a doctor. Maybe that's why.
I,
He's a medical doctor, Dr. Akintayo. So thank you for being here. I know that it's not an easy skill for anybody to have. And we're here, and I don't think any one of us here is diagnosed with autism or ADHD or any other neurodevelopmental challenges. And even with that, you had to kind of apply like a working memory to help you to be able to do that. So you have some working memory, your tool in your bank that you are able to use. This skill will be very challenging for a child with autism or a child who struggles with executive function, maybe because of ADHD, maybe because of traumatic brain injury or any other challenges or health or medical challenges. So, let me see. I don't know if we have time. I also wanted us to write, to kind of do, it's like a switching. So switch the letters with numbers. For instance, A1, B2, C3, all the way to Z. You might not be able to do it because I will only give us 1 minute. I just want us to maybe not experience, but to try to assimilate what the kids with autism or ADHD might experience when they have to do multi-step task or when they had to switch content. And this is what he looked like for them. They had to switch from letters to numbers, numbers to letters. Is a challenging skill for them just because of their disability. So you can try later. It's not a test. I should have informed you before. So it's just for us to see how important our working memory is, task initiation. Some of us, we wait a little bit like, how do I do that? And it takes you a minute before you figure out the strategy you're going to use. And for our students with disabilities, they might not have any strategy to use. And then they will just be frustrated because they don't know how to tackle the challenge that is being given to them. So, executive function skills, they are actually um, they are described as the air traffic control system. So they are like gatekeeper for her brain. So they're there to tell us, okay, you can switch now, you can go this way, you can go that way. And in the brain of students with autism or with ADHD, that skill is not as developed as it is for people who do not have the same condition. And yes, we are not born with executive functioning skills, but we are born with the ability to learn. And kids learning from birth. They learn it from birth until young adults, until you're like 25, according to research. Although research is saying that even after 25, you can still develop executive skill. You can still learn them. But typically, by the time you are 25, you already learn all this. You already have all this skill in your belt to use to know when to switch, to know when not to, when to use your working memory, or when to use flexibility, when to adapt. As we all probably know, that students with autism, they do not adapt well to changes in their routine, unless they are well prepared for it. So, executive function skills, they help us to manage our time. They help us to stay organized. They help us to remember instructions. So when your teacher say, okay, when you get home, I need you to watch Channel 7 news at 6, and then write down the key information from the news. If a child with ADHD did not have that written down, they might not remember what the teacher says. And then they're going to get a 0. Also, he helps us control our impulses. Some of us, we get angry, we know what to do. If I get angry, I may walk away because, I have the skill to do that. But for some of our students, they need support with impulsive control. So also to juggle multi-step task. So, but the good news is that these skills, they can be learned. And parents are wonderful coaches. Parents can help. Yes, teachers should help, but parents can help because you are the first teacher for our children before they come to us in the school system. So I think I just explained the working memory is actually the ability to manipulate information. So it is the ability to also keep it so you can pull it out when you need it. Cognitive flexibility is just an ability to be able to switch and know that, okay, I can change now. Yes, I can do ELA and move to math immediately and move from there and then move to science. That's our cognitive flexibility. And the inhibitory control controls our impulses and ability to avoid distractions. Some of our guys with disability might not have that. Not all of them, but some of them might not have it. So this is just a visual to give us what I was trying to explain to us. So as of today, 80% of individuals with autism and ADHD suffer executive dysfunction. And that can lead to a lot of challenges for them. It can lead them to difficulties with managing time, completing tasks, even initiating tasks. So if you have, I know there was a time I have to show a picture of my son's room, and I got his permission to do it. You would think there was a tornado in there. Like, what happened? And to him, the room is clean. And I said, like, when are you going to clean your room? Mom, I just finished cleaning my room. Like, what? With all these all over the place? I did. No, son. You need to put things where they belong. So we had to argue over what the definition of clean means. So we had to go over that. And of course, it's very articulate. It's going to tell me this and tell me that. But mom, it's my room, though. The last time I checked, it's my room. So, and you're going to go through all that with the kids. But sometimes, of course, I'm going to get a little tough on him. Like, no, this is not the standard. I need things where they need to be. This is not productive for anybody, not for you either. And as your mom, God put you here so I can tell you what to do sometimes. So that's what I'm here. So you have to listen to me. So sometimes we really have to hold our children accountable. Although we know that they're still developing that skill, we're going to help them to do it and still hold them accountable to do it. So I think these are the challenges, what it feels like for students when they're experiencing executive dysfunction. Forgetfulness is a big deal for them. Trouble with emotional regulation. Sometimes they go through this mood swing, focusing on tasks with the social media and everything else around, music here and there. And some of them, music is good for them, really calms them, but some of them is a distraction. And if care is not taken, it can also be a distraction. When they in college, when they don't take note of the time the assignments are due, they do it last minute, and then they don't do their best. And it's not that they're not smart enough to do excellently, it's just because the symptoms of the disability is hindering them from doing their best. So when we talk about causes of it, of course, like I've been talking about, different conditions, substance abuse is one that I've not mentioned, lack of sleep, because people without disabilities might also have executive dysfunction, although not at the same degree or severity. People can also get it when they have infection, for instance, like carbon monoxide and so on and so forth. So there are so many, many reasons that people can have executive dysfunction. Why does it matter? It matters because life is at stake. A lot of things can happen if they do not learn these skills. Poor, inconsistent performance at work, even though they're doing their best at work, they're doing their best. But because they are seen as inconsistent, as somebody that doesn't meet deadlines, they might not be recommended for promotion. And it's not that they're not capable of it, but they have something that is hindering them. Sometimes even they lose their jobs. There is the statistics that show us that individuals with ADHD, they struggle with keeping their jobs, job security, because of they're late to everything, because they do everything last minute. Time management is a problem. Maybe not everybody, and some have learned, but some people still struggle with that. So they have to learn it so that they do not struggle. And we know it's a ripple effect. When that happens, of course, it's going to be a financial crisis. Then unpaid bills, and then stress comes in, and then every other thing is just coming in. They become overwhelmed, and then it becomes another level of social emotional problems that they have to deal with. Social friction is another challenge that is at stake for individuals with disability. When we look at statistics, again, of course, it's very difficult for them to make friends. But those that make friends, some of them are social animals like my son. He makes friends, but he might not be able to keep friends because he can't keep his words. If he say, I'll be there at 6, he didn't even remember when it was 6 o'clock. So then he disappointed the friends. And after a while, they will not take him seriously anymore. So, and then it becomes a challenge. So now I don't have a friend. Sometimes if you're married, it causes friction in the marriage that the marriage has to be dissolved. A lot of people with ADHD, they struggle to keep a home. And that is a problem. Incarceration risk is the one that scares me the most, because sometimes because of impulse control issues and every other thing that comes with that, the forgetfulness that comes with ADHD and autism, sometimes they get into trouble even with driving. Sometimes they get into trouble with the law because of the disabilities. And if it's not treated, if the kids, if they are not taught these executive function skills, they might also have increased health risk. So that is what is at stake. That is why it is important for us, not just as parents, but even as community members, that we can share this information with people in our circle of influence. So, oh no. So that leads us to some of the questions that I received. And I know that one of the questions that I received during registration is, my 19-year-old son has ADHD, but it takes about 2 hours to take a bath every day. He's late for everything. How can I help him? So I'm going to throw this to all of us, if anybody have any suggestions, so I'm not the only one speaking. Somebody's in the bathroom just having fun. Music is going and is singing and dancing. 2 hours have passed. It is an executive function issue. So I have a lot of doctors here, so you can help us. So what do you recommend for this mom? I'm not sure if she's online or not. I'm not sure if she's here. But whether she's here or not, she can listen to the recording later. So, well, yes, sir. Go ahead and unmute Dr. Muhali.
Yes,
Again, Dr.
I am talking as a father.
Yes.
Yes, not the doctor.
All
What I
right.
did, what I did with my sons is to teach them to monitor their time.
Okay.
So I say 10 minutes shower. So they set up alarm clock.
Okay.
It doesn't work all the time, but that's how we do things. Set up a time to do whatever you're doing.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yes.
Dr. Comfort, go ahead.
Yeah, I so much agree with the
Dr.
gentleman that just
Muhali.
spoke. I don't know his name, but I so much agree to the fact that timing is something that must be initiated in the beginning with every task. Whether there's a different type of timers. There are timers that Samuel, I'm talking, please, once again. Like timers that have light to it, timers that have music to it, timers that have something that is really engaging for them to be able to read, to have the mindset, oh, the time is up. You know, just the alarm sound sometimes doesn't work for them. You need something that's really will draw the attention that, oh, time is up. So I really feel like exploring different types of timers will really engage students that have this executive function in staying on task.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Mensa, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, guys. Or
Good
good
morning.
afternoon. I don't know where you are, but in Jersey it's the morning. So, my son is ADHD, and I work with children with ADHD and autism. So, for me, it worked very well. I mean, my response is in harmony with it, just because we already mentioned the timer and the music. What works best for me and my son is the music, his favorite music. So initially, it was kind of a struggle because even though I played the music, he was still not, not be done in the shower or any other chore. So the 20 minutes, I put 20 minutes for every activity in order for them to accomplish, whatever they want to do. So once the 20 minutes is up, it doesn't matter if you finish or not. You get out, you have to get out of the shower, or you have to stop the activity that you're doing and move on to the next one. So because now he's getting older, he doesn't like the fact that I'm going to knock at the door and say the time is up. So before the 20 minutes, he's already out, and getting ready to put his clothes on. So the music, their favorite music, works for every activity, that needs to be accomplished on time.
Okay.
because,
you.
10 minutes, I feel like they kind of slow in a way. Maybe I may be stereotyped by saying slow, but in terms of doing things faster, they always take their time. So just 20 minutes is giving them, enough, grace to do whatever they need to do, especially the shower part.
Okay.
All right.
So thank you for your contributions. I think it is in line. All right. So the condition is called time blindness, that our kids struggle with timing because they just don't understand the concept of time. So like we were saying, it is important to give them something feasible, something that can hold them accountable. Yes, they need academic coaching. They need personalized strategies, only because every kid is different. And of course, these personalized strategies we focus on goal setting and a way to hold them accountable so they can learn. They can learn this time management. Yes, time timers. There's a lot of apps out there that they can use for people. We know our kids are tech savvy this age. So using the app, the timer app, which is it can be the digital clock, but something that they can see, something that they can really use, that can tell them, they can look up and see, ooh, my time is almost up. And we have to teach them to set the time themselves so that they know. Calendar, there's so many calendar apps that they can also use. And positive reinforcement. We have to reinforce them for the tiniest effort when we see them that they're trying, but we have to reinforce that effort and be specific about it. Yes, Sister Comfort. Dr. Comfort, I see your hand. Dr. Comfort, do you want to say something? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm
That's
struggling
okay.
with the speaker. I'm sorry. So I want to say that it's one thing that we know that their time management skill is where the lack is, but we have to make sure that we tell them or show them every material or tools that's accessible, so they lose the fact of, oh, I need where's the soap, or where's the sponge, or where is the towel. So if you have a place designated for them, for where all the materials is going to be, all the tools are going to be, it's going to save them time from thinking where to get things to accomplish that task. So the time management is great, but make sure that everything's accessible to them. They know where exactly that stuff is going to be, and when they finish, they know exactly where it's going to go. Then it's going to help them with the time as well. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. So we're going to move on to the next question. I'm not sure if the owner of that question is here or not. But I want to move on to the next question because, like I said, I have an ambitious agenda today. All right. So this is another question. If ADHD is a disability outside of my child's control, should she be held accountable for her actions? Oh, I didn't put an answer. So please tell me. Don't even look at my slide. Should she be held accountable? Since we know that, oh, this kid have ADHD and that's why she struggles with time management, or should we just let her be? I think I gave that away, right? Anybody want to give it something you've tried? So I feel that we have to hold them accountable. Yes, they have a disability, but it doesn't mean they cannot learn. Actually, in my study, I found that high expectation is the number one factor that that help students with disabilities. Individuals with disabilities, having high expectation is the top of the line factor that support their learning and lead to increased academic achievement. So we have to hold them accountable. And we have to, yes, you have to teach it to them. Yes, we have to scaffold with them, but you have to hold them accountable for it. Yes, set measurable goals, reasonable, achievable goals, but they should be moving forward and moving up, from time to time. All right. If ADHD or another learning difference impacts my child's executive functioning, how do I balance grace with accountability? And that is another question. How do we balance grace with accountability? If you have any strategy that you've used that you find effective, please feel free to share. Even though I have the answer there, just to kind of keep it flowing very quickly because of our time, but feel free to jump in, please.
I'm not sure how to raise my hand.
Yes, go ahead, ma.
Okay, I'm just putting this in, coming from my side of the religious world.
Okay.
One person, I don't know if you're all familiar with the Bible, one person that I am sure had ADHD in the Bible was King Saul. And God did not, he didn't spare him.
Okay.
Just because he was always jumping to do stuff.
Yes.
And he didn't spare him. So we really, I can understand tempering that with grace. But if we are sparing people because we think, oh, they have some sort of deficiency, this world will be in chaos. So please, I've seen people that have been doing that and the results have not been good. So we train them, of course, but they have to be held, how are you? Responsible for whatever they have done, said, and it will be well. Thank you. Just a little bit from my religious side that couldn't help ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you for that example. I guess I have to go and read my Bible a little bit more. I never thought of King Saul as somebody that have ADHD, so I have to go and look at it again. So yes, and I do agree. So why you give them grace, and the grace is to let them know that they are loved, they are supported, you're there with them, you're going to give them, you will scaffold, you will give them all that they need. That's the grace. And then, yes, of course, you're going to scaffold, you're going to break it down into step by step, but they still have to follow through. And following through is what you will reward. All right. So somebody asks, how can I hold my child responsible for daily tasks without discouraging or overwhelming them? How can I do that? Hold them accountable without them being overwhelmed. And my short answer is set small, realistic goals and celebrate success. So if today you're working on them, getting organized, getting their school, everything that they need for school together, then you show them how, you give them step by step of how to do it, and then you do it together, and then you hold them accountable to do it when you feel that they're ready. Then you praise their efforts, not just for completion, but the effort that they're trying so that they can continue. Because research shows us that any behavior that is rewarded will be repeated. And that is why that is important. When should natural consequences be applied? And when should I provide extra support? Did anyone want to answer that? Natural consequences they are the things that happen without you punishing them, but it just happen naturally. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. If you don't cook and you can cook, then you can't eat because food is not going to cook itself. Those are natural consequences. If you put your money somewhere and somebody steal it, those are natural consequences. I don't have to replace it. So use natural consequences when the lesson is safe. So forgetting a water bottle, it means being thirsty. Of course, when you feel it's too ash, I will not do that on a 90 degrees day or 100-degree day. You don't want them to dehydrate. Okay. So when it is safe, yes, you do it. For instance, if they forget their money at home to have lunch, then they take whatever the school feed them with when they do not bring money for lunch. And that would be their consequences. And gradually, we're scaffolding and pulling back support as their skills are getting strengthened. Let me see, what time is it? So somebody asks, should I claim my child's backpack or room for them or guide them to do with themselves? I think we answered that in a way when we answer one of the questions. Guide them, please do not do it for them. Sit along with your child, show them how, make step-by-step direction for them if you have to, if that's what they need. Use visuals to show them, depending on their age. For older kids, use multiple representation. So that means if I'm telling them, I'm not depending on my words, I give them in writing as well. Post-it notes work, emails work, whatever work. Voice recording can be another way so that they always have your direction. So if I want my son to do something, I know if I tell him, maybe the last one will get done. If I say 6 things, he might remember the last one, or maybe the first one. The rest, he didn't remember. And it's not that he doesn't want to remember, he just didn't remember. So knowing that, I know that even if I tell him, I'll tell him so that he can know and understand. So if he doesn't understand, he can clarify with me, and then I'll text him. So he also have it in his text. So, and that is kind of multiple representation, so that we give them different ways so that they can be successful, because we want them to be independent. That's